Amesy here of Amesy's Antics. Welcome to my channel. Hope you are well today because we have a sewing project to have a go at, and I guess this one is maybe more aimed at a camera enthusiast, or you could even do it as a present for somebody who loves their camera, because I'm going to show you how to make a camera strap out of fabric. Now this is a really easy sewing project to have a go at, and all you're going to need is some material of your choice. I have gone for a polka dot cotton material, some faux leather. Now mine's a really nice muted coppery gold colour, but you could use any faux leather or stiffer material that you like. Some swivel clips, a sewing machine, sewing clips or sewing pins, and an iron. So if it sounds like something you would like to have a go at making, then let's get crafting. Start by cutting out your chosen material, and you want a strip of 77 centimeters long by 7 centimeters wide, and then move on to creating a pattern for your faux leather piece. Now this is like a T shape. If you imagine doing bubble writing, it is a T shape, and it measures 2 centimeters across for the small part, up 2 centimeters, then out 1.5 centimeters, up 3 centimeters, and across for the whole top, if that makes sense. Cut out the pattern piece and then place it onto your faux leather material. Now what you want to do is place this on a fold so that when you cut out the shape, it actually folds into two pieces that are connected. So you should get a bit of a stretch H shape with this shape that I have gone for here, and you want to cut out 2 of these, one for each side of the camera strap. And as you can see, once it is cut out and you unfold it, it's all joined together. Then you want to grab your iron and just press out that first material a little bit so that there are no creases and bumps in it for when you are sewing. And I actually decided to put some iron-on interfacing just to strengthen those leather pieces, because I found that the leather was quite pliable and I wanted it a little bit stiffer to hold its shape. So if you find your material needs a bit more stiffness, then add some lightweight iron-on interfacing. Then you want to take your chosen strip of fabric and fold it lengthways in half so that the 2 raw edges meet together, and you want to make sure that the right side and right side are touching, so the more pattern pieces are touching together, and just pin this in place because we are going to sew a seam down the edge. And if you're a little bit extra like me, you can actually place in a label of your choice if you do have some fabric labels. So you want to pin this in place along that line, making sure the label goes inside that fold. Head to the sewing machine and sew a straight stitch all along that raw open edge, back stitching at the start and end of the seam and making sure that the label is incorporated into this. Now the seam doesn't want to be too deep because this will make the strap really narrow, so you want to make sure you're close-ish to the edge but not too close that you are right on the edge, if you get what I mean. So it's probably about 0.5 centimeter width seam that you are sewing. Once the seam is sewn, you just want to trim down some of that edge, and I use some pinking shears to help reduce any fraying that may happen inside the camera strap, and a zigzag stitch sort of helps this as well, but you don't want it too bulky, so make sure you do trim that seam down. And then place a safety pin in one side of the end of the tube that you have just made, and begin threading this back through the tube to turn it right side out. Now this can be quite fiddly, but having the safety pin in the end helps you hold on to the end and really pull it through. So it is quite easy to do once you get the technique down. use an iron just to press this strap flat so it helps when putting on the leather ends. And you want to make sure that seam is laying nice and flat just so that it is a bit smoother when connecting the two pieces together. And for a bit of extra security, just zigzag the ends of the straps to prevent it from fraying once it is inside the leather pieces. Then you want to get your leather pieces and place them inside those swivel hooks. So it's like a D-ring on the end of the hook. So you want to fold it in slightly, thread it through so that the smaller part, longer part in the middle of that H shape is in the middle, and then fold it together, matching all of the edges up together. Now ideally you want to measure this, but I just sort of eyeballed where I wanted the straps to be. But place them on one side of that leather piece and then fold the leather piece over on the top of this. Now I use sewing clips to keep some of this in place because pins did leave marks in the faux leather. But you want to do this on both sides, and then we're going to sew a seam all around that edge. So it's going to be a square around the top first, and then we're going to do some other bits. So head to the machine and do a straight stitch around that top edge and down the sides, and then along the bottom before you get to that slimmer part. Now I found that I needed to hand wind my machine a little bit to get it going so that the leather didn't get stuck in the feeding part of the sewing machine. So you may find you need to do this. So yes, just sew a really nice square around the edges, and I actually went round a few times to make sure that it was fully secured together. And then it is time to create a cross type stitch across that square. So start in one of the corners and do a straight stitch from one corner to the other in a diagonal line. Again, repeating over this a few times to make sure that it's strengthened, and then go to the opposite corner and create another diagonal line from one corner to the other, repeating the stitch again so it gives it a bit more strength, and you should have a nice cross inside the square. And to finish this square piece of the faux leather, you just want to do a zigzag stitch a few times all along that outer edge, incorporating some of that fabric material into it as well. To sew the faux leather piece closer to that swivel hook D-ring, you just want to change the presser foot on the sewing machine to a zipper foot, and this just allows the needle to get that little bit closer to the edge where that D-ring is, and then just do a straight stitch several times across that bottom edge and then a few times up the two side pieces. Once you've done this, the camera strap is ready to be used with your camera. They have how to make a camera strap out of fabric. It's a really easy sewing project to have a go at, so whether you're a beginner or just getting back into sewing, it's a really good one to start off with, and you can really customize up your camera to match maybe your outfit or just jazz it up whilst you're out and about, and hopefully get some compliments on your camera strap. Now it also makes a great gift for maybe other camera enthusiasts out there. It would make a lovely gift for them, something handmade and meaningful to them. So let me know what you think in them comments below. I would love to know your thoughts on this DIY, and if you've enjoyed the video then please do give it a big thumbs up, and if you are not already subscribed, please do consider hitting that subscribe button to keep up with more of my other crafty antics, because they range from a sewing project like this to a bit of beauty DIY to a bit of general creativeness and a sprinkling of travel. So if it sounds like something that you would enjoy, then please do consider hitting that subscribe button. I would love to have you part of this creative crafty family here on YouTube. And check out my blog Ames's Antics, which is linked below because there's always a ton more information over on the blog as well. With that said, I will see you in next week's video, and I hope you have a lovely rest of your day and week, and I'll see you next time.